producer Zach Phillips likes to say, we are back like a vertebrae. Actually, speaking of Zach Phillips, it's going to be a very interesting night for our producer Zach Phillips as we're here in lovely St. John, New Brunswick, where it is gorgeous. I spent the day yesterday in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. Gorgeous. Tonight we're here for the St. John Sea Dogs season opener against the Cape Breton Eagles. But it is going to be a fantastic thought it would never happen moment later on tonight when producer Zach Phillips of this show meets hockey player Zach Phillips, who producer Zach Phillips is always confused with. The two shall meet this evening. I never thought it would happen. I don't think Zach, like my Zach, thought that it would ever happen. But tonight it will be double Zach here at TD Station in lovely St. John, New Brunswick. Thanks so much for being aboard today. Glad to be here in St. John at TD Station in advance of tonight's big game. And we have a couple of really special people to talk to who have some great stories. And one name specifically that you're going to want to remember for the 2027 NHL Draft. That's coming up in a couple of moments. Meanwhile, we remind you as always, the sheet is powered by FanDuel, home of the same game parlay. Make every moment more on FanDuel. Daily Outline powered by FanDuel. Make every moment more with North America's #1 sportsbook. And coming up on the program today, he is the president of the St. John Sea Dogs, longtime general manager of the St. John Sea Dogs as well. He is Trevor Georgie. You've heard us talk about Trevor before. You're going to meet him. Some great Sea Dogs and QMJHL stories coming up here in a couple of moments. And then Alexis Joseph will stop by. All 6'4", 215 pounds of him, and he's not done growing. Maybe the first overall draft pick in the 2027 NHL Draft, and that's coming up here in a couple of moments. In the meantime, I'll give him the royal wave and welcome him to the broadcast. No stranger to these parts or anywhere around junior hockey or NHL for that matter. He sent a lot of players to the show. He is Trevor Georgie. He is the longtime general manager, now president of the St. John Sea Dogs. He joins me now. Are you nervous before game one? Tonight is the home opener, the curtain raiser, etc. Newfoundland had their big one yesterday. Today, eyes on the Sea Dogs as they face off against the Eagles. Are you nervous now, or have you done too many of these?
Good question. I'm not nervous. I'm just excited, really excited. Yeah. This is the same location where the boxes were during the Memorial Cup. And I can tell you that those games I was probably, definitely a lot more nervous. But now for this season, so much work goes into it. Just excited.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the week two, and I do want to get to Memorial Cup 2022 and the coaching decision and the people that stuck their hand up to coach a team that ended up winning the Memorial Cup. But before we get there, walk us through a week. Walk us through this week leading up to tonight. Right now, as we do this interview live, in your mind, is everything put to bed? Is everything on the trolley tracks and everything is ready to go smoothly? Or are there still some things to do? Give me a snapshot of your week here, Trevor.
The week's been very, very busy. The team, the business team, the hockey team, everyone's been working really, really hard to get everything ready for home opener, no matter how much you prepare over the course of a full summer. And we had a long summer, an unfortunately long summer. We never want summers to be that long.
You kind of got a big reward who's going to be joining us here in a couple of moments because of it, though.
We definitely did, but there's always a lot of things to do till the last second. Mm-hmm. This week has really been just having everyone focused on. We always talk about the purpose, why we're all here, and just getting everyone focused on the purpose, and whether that be hockey ops staff, players, our business staff. It's just getting everyone let's just focus on why we're all here and the purpose of the whole season, and let's now. Let's just make sure we're dialed in.
You'll talk to the kids before the game, or you've already talked to the kids?
I spoke to them yesterday. Yeah, I spoke to them yesterday. I usually I try not to, in terms of a group setting, I don't like to have too many of those. I leave that to Travis, and I've always been like that. I rather our coach and Travis, our coach and general manager, have that conversation with them. But certainly, once a year. At the start, and then probably a couple times throughout. But we had a really good conversation yesterday. The group's dialed in, they're focused, and our message is always that we're all in this together. It's a process. The goal is to win a championship. Not everyone is willing to do what it takes to win one. You have to do today what others aren't willing to do to have what others won't one day.
Yep.
And we talked about this earlier. Every franchise says they want to win, but it takes a lot to do. Do you know how? And so, we had a really good conversation yesterday. But on game day, no, that's not my place. And let them do their thing.
I mentioned the reward that you got this year, and that's Alexis Joseph, who's 6'4", 215, 6'3", 212. I mean, we're sort of fudging numbers. I said he's a large center and a highly skilled. And as much as, the early conversation about 2027, revolved around Landon Dupont, here's Alexis Joseph saying, hold on a second here. I know we're a ways away from 2027, but already people are getting excited about Alexis Joseph. I'm excited to watch him play tonight. For you guys, what should we know? He's going to come on the program here in about 30 minutes or so. What do you think we should know about Alexis Joseph, and when did you first get eyes on him?
Yeah, I mean, Alexis Joseph has been a name within this region for a long time. He is a true 6'4", because I remember on draft day when he came up on stage and he got his hat, very few people to Scott McCain stare at eye level.
Yeah, Scott's a big guy. Scott's the owner of the St. John Sea Dogs from the legendary McCain family.
And so he was staring at him right in the eye. And, you see those lists. We've all seen the list when a guy's listed at 6'4" and they're actually 6'1.5" or 6'2". He's a true 6'4", and muscle, like all muscle. I think all the fans can Google and look up Alexis and see that he had 9 points in whatever it was, 3 games at the U17 camp, and read all about him. A few things people won't know, but I think are important to the story of Alexis Joseph. He could have, most thought that last year in the Q draft he could have got exceptional status and gone first overall, and they opted not to do that. They didn't want to do that. They want to take their time.
Why was I just pause on that too? Because I'm curious now with. Between the NCAA situation, we're going to get to that, and potentially what's happening here with 19-year-olds and the American Hockey League, we're all wondering, is junior hockey going to start to skew younger? Is it going to be more of a 16 to 18 leagues? All 3 leagues going to be 16 to 18 with more 15-year-olds. Like, if there's anyone that looks both physically and mentally, because he's a very mature young man, ready for it, it would be him. It's a curious decision not to apply for it.
Yeah, I think it's a player from the bit I've got to know Alexis and his family. They are very process-oriented, take our time, do it the right way. Let's not make waves. Like, they're a very easy family. And I think Alexis, I know Alexis had grown up on values of hard work, do the right thing, and be patient. And I give an example on players and their contracts, and everyone has like stick exemptions and things like that. And Alexis kind of early on was like, just because I have whatever it is in my contract that allows me whatever it is that that little extra is, I don't want it. I don't want it, I want to make sure it goes to the whatever. I don't want to be different. I just want the other guys to get. I want to get the same. And I think those are a few things on character and on the way he was raised that have to be underlined. You're not going to find that on elite prospects. You're not going to find that online, but I think to understand Alexis Joseph is to understand the confidence he's got, but also the humility.
It's and listen, he's one of the main reasons why fans are going to watch the Sea Dogs this season, and everyone's going to be following him for a couple of years here. This has turned into, over the years, a real Cadillac franchise in the QMJHL. It's a destination place for players. It's one of my favorite rinks to be at. I think it's my 4th or 5th time here. And just before the program today, wandering around and looking at the pillars of fame.
Yeah.
And just reminded about, sure, like the Huberdeaus will be there, and Shabbat will be there, and Hoffman will be there, etc. But like Thomas Yurko, I haven't thought about Thomas Yurko in years. Stanislav Galiev, I haven't thought about Stanislav Galiev. Brett Gallant, like there's a lot of other players that were significant contributors to this team that went on to some fame in the NHL as well. From your tenure here, and I believe you started in 2013 or 2014.
I started a bit later. I started in 2016.
Oh, 2016.
2016.
Okay, so then 1 year after that, you went to the Memorial Cup. But since you've been here, like when I say, who are the names that pop for Trevor Georgie? Either headliners, or other players that you thought maybe, I thought this kid was going to make it? Who comes to your mind? Because there's a real long list.
That's a long
of Sea Dogs that made their way to the NHL.
Yeah, it's a long list, and even the guys that before I wasn't privileged enough to be here when they were here, we've built great relationships over the years, and we have our alumni weekends. Memorial Cup in 22. I remember Gilles Coteau, the commissioner at the time, commenting how we do alumni. We had I think 50 alumni here.
Really?
Yeah, 50 alumni here, and they all came to take part in it and enjoy it. And when we were, I remember after we beat Shawinigan in that game to punch our ticket, Shabbat and Boko and all of them are down in the locker room, high-fiving the guys. And I think that's really special when you see that lineage and that the generations carry over. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of memorable guys over the years. I think of Boko Imama, who could have forecasted him at whatever it was, 41 goals as a 20-year-old in the league. And, even in the pro, he's faced such adversity and he's done such a great job of it. Just brings such intimidation. I think intimidation is still very much a part of it.
Especially in the Metropolitan Division.
Yeah, right?
That's like the old Norris Division. We always make the joke of the Chuck Norris Division. Now that's the Metropolitan. And everybody has a gunslinger.
You need a little bit. You feel a little bit more confident with guys like that. And Boko, obviously Matthew Joseph and Thomas Shabbat and Joe Vallejo. Matthew Highmore, who undrafted so many times, finds a way to have a nice career in the NHL. Lots of guys. I think of the 2022 group that we had, 5 guys that we drafted and we stuck with all through the cycle until they won. It was rocky. It's tough to win, and it's tough to go through those growing pains. But there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys over the years that have added a lot to the organization. And I always tell our players, and it's the truth. Just because you aren't on that, your name's not engraved on one of those cups doesn't mean you didn't help us get there. Because they leave so much behind. We have veterans. We have guys last year, a guy like Nate Tivy it's in Quinnipiac this year. Nate didn't have a chance to raise a banner behind us. He didn't have a chance to have his name engraved on a cup. But one day when it does happen, those that were here during his time here will have gotten, little pearls of wisdom that are going to help us achieve that. And
I spoke to Kyle Dubas earlier on this week, and one of the things that I sort of glibly brought up with him, just to make him feel old, was that his first client when he worked at Uptown as an agent, Kyle Clifford, had just retired. 2 Stanley Cups, a really successful career. Kyle Clifford got the most out of his career. And I'm walking around, I'm looking at the Pillars of Fame, and Nathan Beaulieu is one who is a defenseman here for the St. John Sea Dogs. His nephew Ryan is a 2010. My 2010s played against him for years. Probably going to be a top 10 kid in the OHL draft this year. Are you at the point of your career now where every single season something happens and you're like, oh, I'm not 29 anymore?
Yes. Absolutely. When I first joined the team, I was 27. My wife Devin at that time was 22. We were pretty close to the players' ages that first year, and then further and further, you feel a lot more like mom and dad as the years go by. But I didn't know that about Nathan's
nephew.
His nephew.
Yeah, Ryan, nice defenseman, plays London Junior Knights.
Great for him.
Really, really good player.
Great. Well, maybe with all the different transfers between leagues, maybe one day he's a St. John Sea Dog. Don't find me for tampering.
I don't know.
We're not suggesting.
I don't think he's going to be waived through the OHL.
Yeah, I don't
when
think
he gets
so.
There. I don't think anyone's going to do that. All right, can we do some junior hockey catnip?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Junior hockey catnip. Okay, so these are I've always, and I think all of us are fascinated in the trades that never happened in the NHL. I always feel that it is a general manager's obligation when they are done in the NHL to tell the stories of the sort of alternative narrative of the NHL. Trades that were close almost happened. Pollock and Torrey are taking the Denny Potvin trade while they already have taken that to their grave, and we'll never know who the players involved were in that conversation. But are there any names that you can share with us? Players that were almost Sea Dogs. Once upon a time, I can still remember everyone thinking that Jack Eichel was leaving BU to go to St. John. That was the year the prospects game was in Niagara, and everyone thought it was going to be McDavid versus Eichel. Obviously, it didn't work out that way, but are there some names that we would recognize that you almost closed on as GM of the Sea Dogs? Catnip for junior hockey fans. Let's go, Trevor.
Sure. 2016, 2017, that run, we had a Julian Gauthier and Callum Booth and Simon Bork. There was a European player in Gatineau that was having a great year. It was Yakov Trenin. And he's in Nashville.
Tough player.
Yeah.
Tough,
and
thick.
I thought that was one that I thought that we were going to be able to do, and it never came. They had really good imports that year. They had him and Vitaly Abramov together. And, couldn't get that one done. I thought that we had something. I was those weeks and months of talking about it. More recently, in 2022, I think of it in cycles. Just like we were talking about earlier, we talked about like 8 years of birth. Yeah. Zach Balduc, who was in Rimouski and then ended up going to the Ramparts and ended up winning with them. And I thought that we had something. We did a lot of deals with Rimouski.
I like him a lot. I think that sneaky. That was one of the best moves of the summer by any general manager. Nice player.
He's a great player. Yeah, really great player. He was exceptional in junior. And the other one I think of that 22. Actually, I have a sheet. So at home when we think of roster composition, I have a big board with just sheets and sheets and sheets, and it's all different possibilities of roster composition for trades and all that.
Eh?
Yeah, I keep them from the cycles. So actually, I have the one from 2017, I have the one from 2022, and it's in storage. And sometimes I'll go back and go, "Boy, was I right," or "Boy, was I wrong on that," or "Oh my God, I thought we were going to get this. I thought was going to be our top line, and that wasn't the case." But Hendrix Lapierre was one too. He was in
Chicoutimi.
He was in Chicoutimi and
Washington first rounder.
First rounder. I thought that we'd have him. Him and I know William Dufour were very good friends too. We acquired Dufour that summer. I thought that Hendrix. I thought we had a really good offer, and we had a lot of conversations on him. And I thought him too. Those would be the three: Trenin, and then Hendrix and Balduc.
Hendrix Lapierre, hands down, the best interview that I've ever been part of at the Combine. I remember when he left, we all looked around the room and said, "Someone's getting a media star. Like, just get this guy to the end." Like, one of the best personalities, delivered well, funny, engaging, like, good player too, of course. But hands down, all the interviews that I ever did at the Combine, Hendrix Lapierre was number one.
Really nice young man.
Oh yeah.
Really, really nice young man. And did everything right at junior. Like, really, really, really great young man. But it all worked out. But yeah, those are three guys. Those are three guys for sure. I thought, let's get the jersey pressed.
Okay, the elephant in the room, the NCAA situation. I noticed this past week that you announced on your social media that Olivier Duhan is going to Clarkson.
Yep.
So you're not running from this. I know that there are some people in junior hockey that want to pretend that this fight is still happening, and it's not. Where are you at right now with this new relationship? We're not even beginning, really, the first season yet, so we don't know what it's going to look like. But where's Trevor Georgie's mind on it?
Yeah. We're player first. So if a player wants to, like Olivier, that wants to pursue that, wants to go to the NCAA, then that's what he wants to do one day. We'll support him. Like, who are we to tell a player that the decision that they're making is not the right move for them? Like, it might very well be the right move for them. We're player first. So if that's what they want to do, we're happy to support them through it. We're happy to work with them on that. We're in conversation with NCAA teams frequently. We have a number of players that we signed over the summer too. That one who's at Tampa Bay camp, he's committed to Providence. Alex Donovan, Ryan's dad, is committed to Denver. Great. Yeah, great. Open-minded to it, good with it. We want players to achieve their goals, and if part of their journey is the NCAA, then great. Is it complicated? Does it change? We followed the cycle. If you look at 2011, 2012, tear it down, rebuild. 5 years later, 2017, Memorial Cup. Tear it down, rebuild. 2022, Memorial Cup. So now, in terms of the cycles, definitely complicates it. Yeah. The math is a bit different. You can't forecast we're going to have that guy at 19 and then we'll trade that guy at 20 and we'll restock the picks. Definitely changes the formula. And Trav and I talk about this all the time about how it's changed. However, it's great. Great players have great options. We've said it out, and I think you got to work with them. You got to work with these programs. They're great programs, and we have a great program. And both things can be true. Mm-hmm. We can be a great developmental option, and they also can be a great developmental option. Both things can be true, and we rather be partners than adversaries.
Is it, and you sort of winked at this already in your conversations with Travis, like, one of my thoughts here is, because you've gone through this process before here at St. John, when you're bidding for the Memorial Cup, one of the things you have to demonstrate is we will have a team that is Memorial Cup worthy. This year the Memorial Cup is in Kelowna. Next year it will either be in Kitchener or in Guelph. How can you make that promise of performance when kids now can go, and now there's the sort of looming specter of maybe 19-year-olds going to the American League?
When you asked that question, I had flashbacks to our bid presentation, and Coley Campbell just absolutely shredding our plan of.
Oh, he did.
But he was asking all the right questions. He was poking holes and looking, and we were prepared. We had the right. Clearly, he liked it enough because they ended up awarding it to us. But it makes it a lot tougher. Makes it a lot tougher to forecast. We have, you can't just pencil in or put in pen, hey, a guy, if he's not playing in the NHL, he's going to be here at 18 or 19. You can't do that. And it makes it a lot more complicated. I think that when your window is there, even if it's a bit early, I think you got to go. I think you're going to have to go. But what if
the interesting thing about that is, what if you find yourself in a winning window, but the following season, Saskatoon kind of found themselves in this a number of years ago at Brayton Chen. You find yourself in a winning window, but the next season you're hosting the Memorial Cup.
Yeah, that's not a good spot to be in.
Well, in one sense it is, because you have that window, but then the big prize the next season this is going to complicate all of it.
It's tough. Like, I'm a strong believer. Philosophically, we've always had the real lows and the real highs. And you're going to stack the deck to make sure you give yourself the best chance to win the Memorial Cup. Yes, it's nice making the third round. Yes, it's nice making the finals. We don't raise banners for third rounds. We don't raise banners for making the finals. Yeah. You don't have lifetime memories, and you don't have rings and cups for being competitive. It's boom or bust has been our model. Yeah. This really complicates it. And I think if you're planning to host a Memorial Cup, you're probably planning around players that are going to be key pieces at 17 years of age and 18 years of age, and not the 19s and 20-year-olds, because it just gets murkier and murkier the older they get.
Right. Did you ever think that we were going to get to this place? I never did.
Not as quick as we did. Definitely not as quick as we did. There were whispers about 18 months ago in some circles in junior of, I think this is coming.
I remember Elliot and I talking about it on the old pod, and we were ridiculed by people, like colleagues in the media who have now had to eat their word. But I remember it was like, and we kept saying, like, it's not coaches that are going to make this decision, it's lawyers that are making these decisions, and this is going to happen. But yeah, absolutely ridiculed, like in front of the camera and behind the camera, openly mocked.
I think you should name all of them right now. List
them. How long do you have?
Names, put the names out there.
How long do you have?
Show the list. But we had, I think it's unfair for a player at 15 years old and their family to make a decision like that.
Right.
It's interesting. It's changed the landscape completely. And I know that even there's a few agents that over the last, 18 months have kind of given us a wink of, hey, I think this is coming, which is interesting. Like they clearly knew something that the rest of the world didn't, and you clearly knew something that the rest of the world didn't. And
broken clock, right, twice a day. That's all that was. Blind squirrel, all those cliches you always hear. Everything is changing really quickly right now. Like, this is the most interesting time in junior hockey. This is the most interesting time. If you're someone that follows, I've maintained this for a while now. If you're someone that's interested in the draft and development and young players and next wave of, this is the most interesting time in the history of organized hockey, hands down. And things seem to be happening really quickly. Since you've been with the Sea Dogs, which, as you mentioned, goes back to 2016. What are some of the more profound changes that we may have all missed? Like, in your role as a manager, whether it's relationships with fellow general managers, with players, with agents, like, is there something you can point at and say, it's profoundly different than when it was when I started?
Yeah, there'd be a few things. So I'll start with what has not changed. Agents have major influence on everything that happens in hockey. When I joined the league, I remember a few GMs, whether they're trying to actually help me or give me, hey, got a little advice for you, kid. When I started, I remember a few of them saying, agents are the devil. They ruin the business.
This is other GMs.
Other GMs, like agent, don't here. If I can give you a piece of advice. They're selfish, they're the devil, they ruin the business, just do what you want to do. And having come from a background of working in other professional sports organizations, it's like agents actually have a lot of influence. I quite like working with them.
You're a Wasserman.
I was a Wasserman, and like I quite like them. They're obviously, your goals are aligned, you want your client to do well, and so we decided to build relationships versus burn them down. I think that's been really helpful for us. And I think most of the agents we deal with I would consider friends after all the years of doing deals together. What has changed? Players have changed in their dynamic. Our group in 2017 that went to the Mem Cup in Windsor, they were a lot to handle, make sure they were home at home in bed and on time, and like get to really rein them in. They were social, they got along great, they were out all together, and it was always the whole group going out. In recent years, and whether it be COVID or just the kind of the changes of taste of that age group, you almost have to be like, hey, like spend time together, go do things, socialize. That's changed for sure. Like you're much less frequently having to rein a team in. You're actually kind of trying to encourage them, like, hey, like go hang out together, go do stuff. So that's changed a lot. I think the Maritimes division is going to be the toughest division in the CHL over the next 10 years. And the reason I say that
Why do you say that?
So I think if you look at the influx of players from the United States, which is great. You have so many, if they go into the Western Hockey League or the OHL, they're all English markets. And I think those players will want to, markets are different in terms of size and local geography and all that, but generally they'll go to one of those teams. In the QMJHL, if there's 20 players coming from the U.S. in the QMJHL, I think that there's, the Maritimes are all like English markets that I think that are more similar to some of those U.S. cities where we get them from. So I think that the teams, if 20 are coming, I'm making up a number, but if 20 are coming, I think that 15 are sprinkled across the Maritimes and 5 the rest. I think we'll see. That's my thoughts on it.
Further to that, the name that pops out to me when you talk like this is Noah Hannafin. So Noah Hannafin, in his draft year, the Quebec Ramparts had his rights. And I remember talking to his representatives at the time. I said, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go to the Quebec Ramparts? And the answer back was, if it were a different team in a different location, no knock against the Ramparts, but this is his draft year. He'll have enough stress on him to begin with. You don't want to throw another issue like a language barrier and a culture shock issue on top of all of it. It's just too risky a decision for our client to make, so he's not going to go. You think the Maritimes division has an advantage there, the American players? I think
with I think it has an advantage with a very specific audience. But I also think that there's geographies of interest for Francophone players of playing in areas within Quebec. So I think that I think it works both ways. But I do think with this new change and this influx of players from the U.S., I think will be a very interesting division to watch for the next 10 years or so. Memorial Cup 2022, Gardner McDougall, the legend, the winner, comes in behind the bench after an early exit by the Sea Dogs to guide the team to a Memorial Cup win. How many other people put up their hand? I seem to remember there were a number of names that are like. So there were a lot that put up their hand. This is juicy. There were a lot that put up their hand, and I would say there was probably half dozen of really qualified, really impressive candidates. Gardner, in terms of the ones we really honed in on, Gardner was the only one that had not coached in the National Hockey League, and that was ultimately what we landed on. But some really impressive names, and we had reached out to Bob Hartley. We had reached out to and spoken with Dom Ducharme, who we'd done the Veleno trade back when he was in Drummondville. Drummondville, yeah. So we did that deal at the time. it worked out great for both. We got I think 3 firsts and 2 seconds, and those players, most of them that we used of those picks were actually on that Memorial Cup team, and it was like, Dom, what a roundabout way. Like, you had Joe and you're getting the benefit of these players. So I had known Dom. I reached out to Travis Green and thought, gauged interest on that. Ultimately, Gardner was a great motivator. Was
it a fragile group? Like, you need like someone to come in and lift the guys up? Was that an issue?
At that point, they had been beat up in the media. They've been beat up.
Blame us.
I have the list too. I have a list too.
You got a list.
You have a list. I got a list.
Okay, great.
We got, they're beat up in the media. They're beat up even like locally. There's a lot of disappointment around it, and rightfully so. We were really disappointed with that outcome. It was an unacceptable outcome, and the group needed a motivator, and Gardner came in and did that, and he could fire up. Any of us to go through a wall and perform, and he's able to do that with that group, and he gave them confidence again. Like, we had a really good hockey team. If you look at our second half, I think we had a 15 game and a 13 game stretch. We didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Like, we were really, really good. We had just and part of that, you have to lose. You have to climb a mountain. You have to start small and keep going.
Of course.
With the COVID season, when our group was 17, 18 coming into their own, we never got those years because the season was the end was canceled. Then the next year was like a shortened kind of COVID bubble thing. Yeah. And then the guys are 19 going, well, win now. What do you mean win now? So I think in retrospect, it was the best thing and the worst thing for us because they had to feel what it meant to lose before they could really understand what it was going to mean to them to win.
That's it. That's interesting. I mean, that was such a cool moment, as well. Like, I'll remember Windsor in 2017, and the Spitfires beat the Erie Otters. I know, sorry, it brings up a sort of moment. I get it, but you guys did great that year. Won the President's Cup.
If I hear Isley Brothers shout one more time,
for the Erie Otters,
I can't go to a wedding now and hear Isley Brothers and not twitch a little bit.
I remember watching Warren Reichel, sort of count down the seconds on the clock, and Bundy's pacing and he's nervous, he's animated. Like, that's Warren Reichel, right? What were you like?
So what I did, every day I would listen to open up the Memorial Cup. One of the songs that was used was Spirits. I got guns in my head and I won't go spirits. And I listened to that song on repeat the entire tournament, and it just kept me calm. I would remember my wife come in and she's like, "Is everything okay? Like, you're taking a 20-minute shower and it's just Spirits on loop."
Yeah.
And what I would do is so that game day I remember coming in. We sat exactly actually in this spot. It was actually right here where our GM boxes were, and I remember. Drinking water bottles and just sipping and just counting down minute by minute. And I'm like, I need to get through 21-minute intervals here in the last period just to get through it. And just
really?
1 minute. And then I'd look, I go, okay, 19 more. Okay, 18 more. I always took a bathroom break between the second and the third.
I was going to say, holy smokes.
I always took a bathroom break. And at that point, I didn't even need to at one point. But I'm like, I always take it at this time. I'm going to do it.
Right.
But I'm also someone that believes, and I told the team this the other day, like, I never believe people, fans are like, well, you did all you can, like, now it's up to the group. Nothing you can do now. I don't believe that. I never believe that. And what I mean by that is I remember saying to one of the fans, I said, that's not true. I can still influence the outcome. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, well,
by drinking 20 waters, by playing songs in the shower for 20 minutes. Trevor.
I was losing my mind for sure. But I said, I'm like, well, if we needed a timeout, you can always help influence an outcome. So say we need a timeout. I'm like, I could throw a water ball on the ice. Gives our team a break.
Listen, the late Roger Nilsson, when he coached Peterborough, Roger would use his timeout early, and he always had a couple of students behind the bench with eggs in their pocket. And if he needed another timeout, he'd sort of give the nod, and sure enough, a couple of eggs would hit the ice, and all of a sudden the Peterborough Petes had another timeout.
Come on, I'll see Travis will give the nod from across the ice. I'll see some eggs going out tonight. All that's to say, it never came down to that. I would never do that, but I think that I think always in my mind, even when you're close to winning, you're like, can I do more? Did I do enough? Can we? What else can we do to make sure there's a positive outcome? I think too often in life and in anything, you go like, I can't do anything else. But that definitely was playing on my mind. Like, what else can we do in this moment to make sure we raise the cup.
I love it. Okay, so Alexis Joseph is standing by here in a couple of seconds. One more question for you, and it involves Joe Veleno. I've always been a fan. I look at like the breakdown of how you look at hockey players and the skating and the shooting and the puck sense and all those like like he has all of it. Do you think Montreal is the team to unlock Joe Veleno?
I think so because I believe in Joe, and I've always believed in Joe. One of the nicest young men you'd ever meet. I think in Montreal, obviously, he's not going to find a GM that knows him more. Kent was his agent, and he was excellent to deal with when he was a GM. When he was an agent, he's doing a great job in Montreal as GM. I think he's going to a team. It's his hometown, and he's got the GM of the team that knows him super, super well from a young age and believes in him and believed in him when he was a junior. And I think I believe in Joe, and Joe's going to figure it out.
I love it. Okay. Who is this Billet family?
The same as Alexis Joseph.
My next guest. How about that for a transition?
Unbelievable.
We transition with the Billet family. Trev, thanks. Good luck tonight. Good luck this season, and best of luck with this spectacular young man who's going to be joining us now here on the program. It's a name that you're going to hear all season long. It's a name you're going to hear next season as well, leading up to the 2027 NHL Draft. He is Alexis Joseph, and he joins me on the program. Alexis, salut, ça va?
Ça va bien, vous?
Oui, ça c'est bien. So my French, je peux parler un petit peu, but pas beaucoup. So we'll do it in English.
Perfect. It's so good for me.
So this is great. First of all, how excited are you tonight? Opening night, St. John Sea Dogs, Cape Breton Eagles, right over there. How did you sleep last night? Are you excited about today? What do you think?
I don't sleep a lot last night, to be honest with you. I'm pretty excited, and I'm very excited to see how the team gonna respond to a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're such a. Trevor was just saying, like, people have had their eyes on you for a long time. I'm curious, at a certain point in your life growing up, when did you realize that hockey was going to be something more than just a hobby? Hockey was going to be something you could pursue and look at the NHL, and that could be a reality. And there's steps certainly with junior hockey here in St. John. But at what point in your life did you say, I think I can really be a hockey player?
I will say my first year in midget AAA. Yeah, I did well, and I was 14. So I was a good hockey player before, but got the chance to play at 14 in the midget. I say I might need to put all my 100 focus and forget the other sport and go all in with the hockey. Yeah.
Because you played soccer.
I do when I was young. Yeah.
When because there were a couple of other sports that you played that you just said, okay, enough. I'm just going all in on hockey. Soccer was one of them. Did you do? Was it fencing?
Fencing
with the sword? Someone mentioned that to me. No.
No.
What other sports did you do when you were a kid?
Mountain biking.
That was mountain biking too. Yeah.
Soccer, lacrosse.
Okay. Were you always the biggest kid?
I was actually. Yeah, I was,
So you must have loved lacrosse.
Yeah, but I played with two old player. I was 8 and I played with 10 years old guys. So I was too young to play with them. So I just focused on hockey, and right now in the summer I play a lot of golf. Yeah.
Right. I heard you're really good. Are you a better golfer than your agent? I was told to ask that question.
I will say yes. You will say no, but it's a good competition for sure.
A couple of interesting things about you as well. Listen, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but when your name is brought up, when people say your name, now they're saying, watch him for first overall in the draft in 2027. I know Landon Dupont is an excellent player in the Western Hockey League. I get that. But when you read things like that and you see you go to Elite Prospects or you go to various people commenting on you and they say this guy might go first overall, what do you think?
I think that I have to play one game in the QMJHL before. That's what I think.
That's tonight against Cape Breton.
Yeah, it will be tonight, but I have to play a game, prove myself. It's very nice to hear that. I try to don't pay much attention to this and just focus on my game and do my best every day. And after that, it's very nice, and it will just be a dream for me to be draft first overall, maybe, but just to be drafted in the NHL, it will be a dream.
Drafted first overall in the Q Draft. What was that day like for you?
It was awesome. It was incredible. I will remember this day all my life. It was awesome.
What was so? I mean, obviously getting drafted first overall is special, but like, take us through that day. Like, what was that day like? Like the whole day like for you?
The day of the draft, you mean?
Yeah, when you went first.
I was like just enjoying the day with my family. I didn't sleep well the night before, so in the morning I was like very tired. But just being with my family, like go to a restaurant, having fun, call my friend, and most of my friends were at the draft. So just being with them and having fun. And after my name was called, and I was just very happy to be a part of the St. John Sea Dogs.
Favorite hockey player? Favorite NHL hockey player?
Nathan MacKinnon. Yeah.
What is it about Nathan MacKinnon? I mean, you're big like him. Like, he's like so powerful.
He's powerful.
When he plays. Like, what do you like about his game? Why Nathan MacKinnon?
I think he is the new, not the new, but he look like the new Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby was a two-way player. He is a two-way player. I want to be a two-way player, so that's what I'm looking at him. And he's a Stanley Cup winner. Yep. So you cannot like have better than Nathan MacKinnon to look up.
You know, it's so interesting to watch Nathan MacKinnon. Like, when he gets a couple of steps and he starts going,
he's so fast.
And he's so strong. Guys just bounce off of him.
Yeah.
Like, it must be like the coolest feeling in the world. And this is where I'll take it back to you. I mean, you've always you're 6'4".
I'm 6'4".
6'4", 205. 205?
Yeah.
You still have some growing here to do. Like, what's that feeling like of kids trying to hit you and just bounce off of you like Nathan MacKinnon?
Like Nathan MacKinnon?
Well, like, watch Nathan MacKinnon play, and guys try to hit him when he gets ahead of steam, and they bounce off Nathan MacKinnon. You've had the same experience when guys try to hit you, and they're like, oh, geez, he's really strong.
Yeah.
And he's really big.
Maybe before, but tonight's
going to be interesting. Are you gonna?
I don't know.
Are you going to go for it tonight? Like, get into the game early?
Yeah, I want to be physical, speed, and take control of the game. That's my goal.
What do you still need to work on? I mean, your skill set is so advanced. What do you think you need to work on still?
I need to work on my defensive side. That's for sure. My speed. As a 16 years old, some guys are 4 years older than me, so they're more fast. Maybe not more big than me, but they're more fast. So I have to work on this and just like adapt to the game.
Favorite hockey team growing up?
Montreal Canadiens. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a favorite players from the Montreal Canadiens? Did you ever go to watch the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, I do actually. Not in the last few years.
You're kind of busy with your own hockey.
Yeah, exactly. So I watch it on TV like every game.
Yep. Oh,
but, wow. I will say my favorite player from the Canadiens right now is Lane Hudson. Yeah. Maybe Demidov next year. He
looks so good. Like, I'm curious, like, what do you like as a player when you watch Demidov?
Yeah.
Because it's so spectacular. The feet, the hands, like all of it.
Yeah.
Like, from a hockey player's point of view, what do you see in Demidov as a player? Like, what impresses you about him?
I cannot say like how I'm impressed at what he's doing. I didn't try to do what he's doing because he's so good at it. It's like his move are so like smooth. So I can try and practice, but never in games. Nobody in games do this. So that's just unbelievable. Do you see when like he goes around the net and put it like and the guy just fall? That was awesome. It's the first time in my life I see this. Like I see some ankle like break, but never this. The guy just like jumped on the air.
So, I mean, you mentioned Lane Hudson there too. I mean, you think of Hudson, you think of the skating is just incredible.
Yeah.
You know, the stories of all the Hudson boys and, you know, their father, you know, taking the skate laces out and saying, all right, boys, you're going to skate without laces to help you improve your edge work and improve your ankle strength. Did you ever do anything like that?
No, I didn't do this. Just
You've never tried to skate without laces?
No,
Just to the Hudsons?
No, but I like not the last two
Eyelets?
eyelets. Yeah,
Yep.
don't attach them.
Oh, really?
Not right now, but before. Yeah, just again like work on.
Gives you better ankle bend?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just work with my ankles more. Like in practice, not in game. Never in game.
Yeah.
But in practice, work on like ankle strength. Yeah.
Okay. What's going to go through your head tonight? So during the anthem,
Yeah.
and you're standing there, this is before your first game in the QMJHL. What will you be thinking of? Maybe who will you be thinking of? What's going to happen between your ears tonight?
My
when
family.
the anthem is on.
I will think about my family. That's for sure. All the sacrifice that my parents do since I'm like 3 years old. I started hockey at 3.
Yeah.
So since 13 years, I'm gonna think about this, and I'm gonna think about what I have to do to have the best game I can have. Yeah.
I spoke to your mom and dad last night at dinner, and your mom was telling a great story about how, at a certain point in your life, it was, friends would come over, and if it wasn't going to be hockey, then they couldn't play with you because you played floor hockey or you're playing all different versions of hockey. Like it was just 24/7.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mini hockey and EA Sports were NHL were pretty high on my list. Yeah. They were.
Okay, I think that's fantastic. Let me close with this. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
But your mom told me that you have a hidden talent.
A what?
A hidden talent.
I'm
You know what
not
that is?
as good in English to tell you what it is.
She told us last night at dinner that you can juggle.
Juggle.
Is that true?
I can, yeah.
Do you think you could do it? Could you show it to us? If we stand
Yeah.
up behind the chair, she said, if you ask him to juggle, he can juggle for you.
You want me to juggle?
Yep.
Normal juggle?
Do it however you want.
Okay. It's kind of stressful if
Hey,
I miss. Okay.
You got this. Look at that.
Yeah. But it's not easy with the lights.
I think you're doing
one
great.
hand too.
You do one hand. Look at this.
Eh,
So if hockey doesn't work out,
maybe.
got a career as a juggler. That's fantastic. C'est vraiment fantastique. Ça va bien. Congratulations. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks so much. This has been delightful. Thank you so much for this. Good luck tonight. Good luck to the rest of the season. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's been a
Alexi.
pleasure. Thank you.
There he is, Alexis Joseph. How about that, Zach? We've never had anyone juggle here on the program before, but there it was. Alexis Joseph juggling. Want to thank the staff at the Sea Dogs as well for rushing out to buy some clementines this morning. That was really cool. And again, like this is going to be exciting here at TD Station tonight. Not just watching the Sea Dogs and the home opener, but also watching Alexis Joseph, who is, as you could just see, so physically imposing, and there's still growing to be done. Like he's 16 years old, right? He's 16 years old and he's 6'4", 205. And it's at this age where you start to see kids putting on muscle and putting on size really, really quickly. And when you think about, and I'm glad that he mentioned Nathan McKinnon, when you think about big guys that can move their feet, and you think about the nature of power forwards in the NHL right now, and again tonight is game 1, but you're probably looking at one of the future power forwards in the National Hockey League, in Alexis Joseph. Got a couple of moments left here in the program. I want to remind you as well that the sheet is powered by FanDuel, home of the same game parlay. Make every moment more on FanDuel. FanDuel, proud to connect fans to the major sports moments that matter to them. I don't know if you have something planned for this segment. Zach, you do? Yeah. You got a microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay.
And by the way, how excited are you to meet the other Zach Phillips tonight here in St. John? We were out to dinner last night with Trevor Georgie, and he said, like, Zach Phillips is going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
get to
cool.
meet, like, the legit Zach Phillips.
All my life, you talked about it. My buddies used to make fun of me bring it up because we
Yeah.
had the same name, we wore the same number, and he was drastically
Say it.
better.
Hang on, say it. He wore my number.
Yeah, I was not saying that. I was about to say last night, I was
Yeah.
about to say we wore the same number, and then
Yeah.
I was like, I think I wore the same number as him rather than us just
Did
wearing
you do that
the same
deliberately,
number.
by the way?
Yeah, I was saying it, and I was
you-
like, oh, I got to stop saying that. I'm not. Oh, no, I didn't wear the same
It was
number
just
as him. Yeah,
coincidence.
coincidence.
All right.
And like when he got traded in the Brent Burns trade, my buddies were all sending it to me and stuff, so it will be pretty cool. But yes, I do have a FanDuel segment for us.
All right.
So we'll be. I have something that I was thinking was interesting. It just popped up on FanDuel, and
Okay.
I didn't necessarily expect the odds to reflect this, and I'm kind of curious what you think about it. But
Okay.
it's the GM of the Year market is up. Bill Zito's the favorite.
I love this award.
Yeah,
I love this award. Boy, this is, and by the way, I'll always go out of my way to point out the one person who, going back to the early 90s, would always lobby for this award at managers' meetings or would lobby Colin Campbell about it all the time was Brian Burks. Now, it's the Jim Gregory. The Jim Gregory Award is the General Manager of the Year. I miss Jim Gregory. We all do. Like, one of the most delightful people that the game has ever seen, and this award is rightly named, the Jim Gregory Award. But if it wasn't Jim Gregory, it probably should be the Brian Burke, because he was a sort of conceptual genius behind the idea of a General Manager of the Year award. Look, man, this one's dominated by Jim Nill right now.
he's not in the top 5.
What do
According
you got?
to FanDuel.
I don't have a monitor in front of me. What do you got? What do you got for top 5? Bill Zito is going to be there for sure.
Yeah, Tulski 2,
Eric Tulski. Yeah. Okay.
Kelly McCrimmon 3,
Yeah.
Stan Bowman 4,
Yeah.
Chris McFarland 5, and then I believe Jim Nill was in a tie for 6.
What about Kent Hughes?
So there were 3 that I thought should have been the leaders:
Okay.
McCrimmon,
Yep.
Hughes,
Yep.
and then I thought Nill would have been in the top 3. Kind of like just dragging from what he did last year more so than what
Yeah.
happened in the summer.
So this one's
But-
this one's voted on by general managers and a select few media members
Right.
as well. But by and large, this is general managers voting for their colleagues. What about Bill Zito?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could.
Like, this is his team. I know there's still a little bit of Dale Talon there with, players like Alexander Barkov, but what about Zito?
Okay, so you tell me if this is a stupid thought of why I was like, no.
Oh, I'm an expert at stupid thoughts.
Well, he brought back the same team, which I guess there's an art
don't
to
know,
being
man.
able to bring them back
Oh, I mean for this season.
for this season. Yeah. Because I'm talking about this upcoming year of who would win it.
I don't know. Let's see, man. If all of a sudden, like, Sylvain Lefebvre can turn Jeff Petrie into another Oliver Ekman Larson,
Wow.
Brandon Montour, or whatever, like that guy on that staff, I don't know. They seem that Lefebvre seems to have the magic hand for rejuvenating defensemen's careers.
Well, the stupid thought was, I thought there was an art to the fact that he brought them all back and was able to fit everybody.
Yeah.
But I thought that Marchand's comments, I think it was 2 days ago, was the one that would have put in like a bullet through that and ended that narrative, because he's like, yeah, the state tax helped us all come back. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't all be here.
Wait a minute. I was told that it had nothing to do with it.
No, I was told it
that
didn't
players
matter.
don't care about what's in their jeans.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, he brought them all back. He found a way. Like, that in
But you know
itself
what, though?
is
That's-
amazing.
but at the same time, like, that's fine. But I still remember the days where the Florida Panthers were anything but a competitive team.
Yeah.
And those tax advantages were still there. I'm not saying that it's not a factor. It is a factor. And when you're winning and the bonus fries are that you don't have to pay the state tax like
It's not
people
bad.
in New York, Pennsylvania, etc., it very much is a factor. I'll be curious to see about Kent Hughes. I think we all do really like what he's done with this Montreal Canadiens organization.
What do the Habs have to do, though, for him to get
Well,
that?
one, they got to get into the playoffs.
Is there anything they have to do beyond that does it? And when is this award voted
I think they
on?
have
Is this-
to go. I think they go into if they go into the playoffs as a seed and not a wild card.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's appropriate, yeah.
And then, if that happens, do we talk about Marty St. Louis for Coach of the Year? Like, to me, like, the ascension of the Montreal Canadiens this year winks at 2 awards. it winks at the GM and it winks at the coach.
And then if that happens, do we talk about Sam Montembeault Vezina?
And then do we talk about Davidoff for the Calder? We're just handing Montreal hasn't played a game. We're all bought in on the Montreal Canadiens because why not, man? They look fantastic. And by the way, I want to point out something. Did you see that interview en français that Nick Suzuki did?
Yes.
You know what? Someone pointed out something to me really interesting. Hey, let me grab it. So a Quebecois friend of mine, I sent her the interview, and she sent back Nick saying LNH instead of NHL is a small detail that means a lot to francophones, and then adds, if Nick ever uses a classic French swear word, we all know what it is, he will reach sainthood level for francophones.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the French swear words. My coach in midget hockey, Dan
Daou. Oh, we played Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah, he used to stand behind the bench and would get down off the bench and pace back and forth at Markham Village there, so you could kind of like hide. And he would swear, thinking that because he was hidden behind the players, you couldn't hear him. But he would just yell the most known French swear word really loudly.
Oh, yeah. All right, Nick Suzuki, that's your next challenge. If you want to reach sainthood in Quebec, you got to drop one the next time you do a French-based interview. But I thought that was such a wonderful touch. And Suzuki's a smart guy who comes from a very educated and brilliant family, so no surprise there. Okay, listen, thanks so much for joining us here today from TD Station in lovely St. John, New Brunswick. The QMJHL season opened up yesterday with Newfoundland, where the play-by-play voice's mom won the 50-50. 37,000 smackers. Oh, what a great story to kick off the season here in the Q. Tonight, the St. John Sea Dogs face off against the Cape Breton Eagles. Very much looking forward to that, and looking very much forward to seeing Alexis Joseph. Thanks to the entire staff here at the Sea Dogs for always being so accommodating, and that starts right at the top with the owner, Scott McCain, through to the team president, Trevor Georgie, and all the way down. So thanks to everybody here with the Sea Dogs. Thanks to Alexis Joseph for stopping by, and thanks to Trevor Georgie for hopping by the program as well and providing some catnip, the trades that never happened in St. John Sea Dogs history. Thanks so much for joining us. We are back on Monday. I'm told our tech issues are a thing of the past, are a rear view mirror. Doing the eyeballs emoji thing. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the junior hockey now that it's in full swing, and we'll talk to you again on Monday here on The Sheet. If you enjoyed that video, and we certainly hope that you do, please hit the subscribe button right there here at Daily Faceoff. I will put this lineup up against any hockey lineup anywhere. It all gets underway at 9 o'clock Eastern with Morning Cup of Hockey. That is Johnny Lazarus. That is Colby Cohen. Then at noon, it's DFO Live. And then 3 o'clock Eastern, The Sheet. Get caught up on everything in hockey.